And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. So do me a favor, again, subscribe, watch, comment. I want your comments and share with friends because, like I say all the time, the insanity, it's not stopping. The nonsense, it just is going to perpetuate day in and day out, including earlier this week. Trump, of course, took to his platform, Truth Social, to talk about protests happening on college campuses. Here's the post. In the post, it turns around and it says, all federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, good usage of English, arrested. No masks, exclamation mark. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I mean, no, seriously. Imagine that the President of the United States is now involving him on campuses, on universities, at programs, simply because he doesn't like what they're saying. I want to show you what I wrote in response on my Substack at The Real Michael Cohen. In it, I turned around and I said, President Donald J. Trump doesn't do anything without an agenda. And his latest social media post, well, it's not just reckless, it is downright dangerous. To those of you who might not have seen it, here you go. On March 5th, Donald Trump unleashed a threat aimed directly at the very heart, next one, of the First Amendment, the foundation of American democracy. It wasn't just some offhand remark or another wild rant for his base. This was calculated, this was deliberate, and this could have real, devastating consequences. In his post, Trump called for halting all federal funding to any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. To make it crystal clear, he went on to say that agitators would be imprisoned or, if they're not from here, sent back to the country they came from. I mean, just imagine what you're talking about. You're talking about the complete and total stifling of the First Amendment. Now, my friends, I want to be very clear. To anybody that has followed me over the course of the last 6 years, how many times have you seen me hold up this order granting preliminary injunction? It is where my lawyer, Danya Perry, sued Bill Barr, Department of Justice, for the unconstitutional remand of me based upon my refusal to waive my First Amendment constitutional rights. And I want to just read a very quick paragraph from it. This is the decision of Judge Alvin K. Hellerstein, United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Guy's been on the bench for like 30 years. The court finds that respondents, and that's Bill Barr and all the defendants there, purpose in transferring Cohen from release on furlough and home confinement back to custody was retaliatory in response to Cohen desiring to exercise his First Amendment rights to publish a book critical of the president and to discuss the book on social media. So let me be very clear. If Trump doesn't like what you're saying, again, right back to the imprisonment, right back to expulsion. Whatever he can do that is harsh to harm anybody who doesn't agree with him 100%, gonzo. Now, I want to be clear that Trump's comments are hypocritical. And I want to show you some recent clips of him claiming that he alone is bringing back free speech to America. Talk about bullshit. Here's the most recent one at his joint address to Congress this week. Play the clip.
I've stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Yeah, let me go one step even further here. In that same order by Judge Hellerstein, for fear that they would do this to me again, they turn around and he says that respondents are hereby enjoined from any continuing or future retaliation against Cohen for exercising his First Amendment rights. Imagine that a federal court judge has to enjoin the federal government, the attorney general, and the president from future retaliation and violations of an individual's First Amendment constitutional rights. I have been screaming this for months, for years, because my biggest fear is that what they did to me, that they will do to you. And I just don't want to see that ever happen again. Not to any American, not to any foreigner that's visiting, getting an education. Let me also show you another one. Here's one from January 23rd. Play the clip.
And it's a strong, sovereign nation. In addition, I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and
unbelievable. Truly, truly unbelievable. But my friends, the kicker here is that Trump only allows, he only wants, he is in his mind so powerful that he and he alone can permit free speech, and that he only will allow such speech if what they are saying is positive towards him and or his administration, but most importantly, towards him. Now, after making that free speech comment at the joint address before Congress, remember that he had Al Green kicked out. Now, let me be clear. At the very inception, they didn't know that it was going to be Al Green. They actually believed it was going to be many, many Democrats. And how do you know this? Well, good old MAGA Mike Johnson already had the rules printed out in large letters so that he could read it based upon any outburst, ignoring the fact that Republicans have done this to just about every Democrat that I could possibly remember. Remember when they were heckling Joe Biden and he responded back about not cutting Social Security or Medicare, Medicaid? Remember that one? Or when they interrupted again and again and again President Obama? So here, Al Green, and he was wrong, based upon the rules, he was wrong, got kicked out. And I want you also just to take a look at, or if you have it DVR'd, look at MAGA Mike Johnson and look at J.D. Vance as they're sitting there and scouring the gallery, looking for anybody who they can claim as being disruptive so that they could play to their party of one, their leader, President Trump, and show them like a teacher proctoring an ACT or an SAT exam, looking for the cheater in the room. It is so abhorrent. It is so beneath us. Play the clip.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
And I want you to also know 10 Democrats, 10, sided with a censure of Representative Al Green. Now, they probably would have gotten the censure anyway, but the fact that Democrats sided with Republicans on this censure, Talk about being what? Disloyal to your party? Do you think that any Republican would have censured another Republican based upon the heckling of President Biden or the heckling of President Obama? No. No. Rhetorical question. Let me be very clear. The Democrats should have all gotten together just as the Republicans did. And they should have said either we stand together united. Nobody say a word. Nobody stand up. Nobody do, or just not even show up. Imagine the visual of half of the chamber, not a single Democrat in the House. And by the way, I want to remind each and every one of you that the only reason that MAGA Mike Johnson is still there as Speaker of the House is because of Democrats. Remember, Matt Gaetz sought to have him removed, and he would have been removed, but for the Democrats. This is where we make the mistakes. And this is where I'm going to be coming to you on a daily basis to expose the mistakes, to talk about what needs to be done. And you being part of this community, again, so helpful. And it will be even more helpful come 2026 when we are desperate to take back the House and the Senate to ensure that our democratic republic continues on. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.